this next beautiful lady I had the fortune to meet yesterday, and she's one of those people that just lightens up a room as soon as she walks in. She is a digital marketing consultant. In fact, I think she's a digital marketing guru after hearing the stuff she was saying yesterday. She is the founder of Tulip Field, where she helps businesses scale their processes and automate their sales so they can scale up. Who wants to scale up their business? She is the host of the Born or Made podcast, coming from Boston, Massachusetts. Give it up for Anne-Marie LaTulip!
Thank you. That was quite an intro. Thank you. So I'd like to start by asking you all to raise your hand if you feel like you are living the life you dreamt of as a kid. Yeah. I knew from an early age that I wanted to be in the spotlight. In fact, my first career aspiration was to be a trapeze artist in the circus. I remember going to the circus and watching those amazing people fly through the air and thinking, oh my God, that is what I want to do. I want to be a trapeze artist. Unfortunately, it was a little unrealistic for a 6-year-old from Boston to run away and join the circus. So I had to think of something else. So one year, a friend of mine and I, we decided we were going to put on a show for our families. We would ask our parents what their favorite songs were, and we would perform them. We had sets, costumes, programs, intermissions. We even charged admission. These shows were elaborate, and as elaborate as could be in one's living room. We would sing and dance and lip sync to our parents' favorite songs, and they loved it so much that my parents started to tell me, Anne-Marie, you are a natural performer. That was it. I was hooked. The seed was planted. I was going to perform for people. Although lip syncing and dancing in my living room suited me when I was 12, I needed to find a way to perform in places other than my living room. So I began my chase for the spotlight. I tried everything: dancing lessons, acting lessons, gymnastics baton, roller skating. You name it, I tried it. Recital after recital, competition after competition, I was always performing. The problem was that none of it really excited me. I mean, I was okay enough, but none of it really lit me up. But still, I was determined to find that spotlight. After all, I was a natural, right? So I continued my chase. Fast forward to the early 90s. I'm gonna ask you, do I have any New Kids on the Block fans in the house? Yeah. I was obsessed, and I remember seeing them in concert and thinking, well, geez, if 5 guys from Boston can form a boy band and perform for thousands of people, surely this girl from Boston can start a girl band. And so that's what I did. I rallied 5 of my good friends. We started a girl band. We would rehearse day after day in my basement. And then finally, we found somebody who wanted to manage us. Oh my goodness, how exciting. And it was him who landed us our big break. We were going to perform at the Apollo Theater in New York City. Yeah. Has anyone ever seen Live at the Apollo, the TV show? Yeah, I'm totally aging myself, I know. Live at the Apollo was a televised talent show. Think of a much less forgiving America's Got Talent. Musical acts would come from all over and perform for a live audience. If they were good, they were able to make it through the entire act. If they weren't good, the audience would boo them off the stage. Needless to say, we were booed off the stage about 30 seconds into our performance. Okay, so I wasn't meant to be a rock star, but still I was determined. I was a natural. My light is waiting. It was right around that time that I was introduced to musical theater. I remember my dad took me to see a performance of Les Miserables. And for anyone that might not know Les Miserables, this is a musical theater show that takes place during the French Revolution. Up until now, I had never seen a musical theater show. It was the most incredible thing I had ever seen. The lights, the sets, the costumes, the singing, the dancing. Oh, it was so much better than the shows we put on in my living room. As I sat there mesmerized, I thought, okay, that is where my spotlight is. And that is when I set my sights, I honed in, and I began that chase for where I thought would be where I was truly meant to shine. My chase, it started easy enough. Right after high school, I got cast as a show character at Walt Disney World. Sure, it wasn't musical theater, but you have to start somewhere. At Disney, there are different levels of character performers. You have your set characters, you have your dinner and breakfast meet and greet characters, you have your parade characters, and you have your show characters. Being a show character was the highest honor any character performer could receive at Disney. And not only was I a show character, but I was able to play one of the most famous characters at Walt Disney at parks all over the property. Pretty cool for a kid right out of high school. Eventually, I got bored and decided it was time to move on to bigger and better. And I joined the cast of Sesame Street Live, which was an international touring show. I traveled the world playing Elmo. We got some Elmo fans in the house. I played Elmo for many, many years. And although I discovered it really wasn't true talent, being Elmo was not my end game. So I moved on, continuing my chase. I spent years pursuing a musical theater career, only to realize that once the costumes came off, something changed. Behind the fur, I was fantastic. But outside of the fur, I didn't have the talent. I didn't have the voice. But still, I spent thousands of dollars on voice lessons. So much time and energy went into trying to be something that I wasn't. Yeah, I got cast in some pretty cool roles, but as good as that felt, I was in a constant state of anxiety and fear, afraid that sooner or later people would figure out that I was a fraud and that I was faking it. It was then that I was faced with a pretty tough decision. That after years of pursuing the spotlight, and despite my love for performing, it just wasn't serving me. Making the decision to stop chasing was a very difficult one. But I can tell you, looking back, it was the best decision I ever made, because it gave me the opportunity to discover my true talent, which is funnel strategy and design. Hey, thanks. Just like choreographing those shows as a kid in my living room, I am able to use my creativity to design funnels for business owners and entrepreneurs like you to help them make more money. Yeah. So what is a funnel? In case you don't know, picture this. A funnel is the perfect stage set for your business. It's not just about attracting. It's about guiding your audience on a seamless journey that ends with them being your loyal and lifetime customers. Without a funnel, it's like offering your product or service on a billboard in the desert. Sure, it's there, but nobody's gonna see it, unless you're in downtown Vegas. But just like every performer needs a spotlight, every business owner needs a funnel to attract, engage, and convert their audience. As a funnel strategist, I get to blend my creativity and my strategic mindset. It's like telling a story. Every email, every landing page is designed to captivate and convert. Just like choreographing those dances, every step in the funnel has a purpose to bring your audience to the spotlight of your business. I know now that my purpose is not about being in the spotlight myself, but it's about helping others find theirs. And it's funny, the voice that never served me on stage, I now use to shine a light on entrepreneurs and business owners. Through my work as a funnel strategist and a podcast host, I have found my true calling. I get to highlight other people who may otherwise have gone unnoticed. So if you find yourself in a role that brings you fear, that brings you more anxiety than joy, don't be afraid to shed that fur. Don't be afraid to accept your limitations and take that step. If I hadn't accepted my limitations, I never would have found my true genius. Letting go of the past is not about not accomplishing a goal. It's about letting go of what doesn't serve you and embracing your true genius. Life is too short to do anything other than what brings you complete fulfillment. Don't spend one more minute doing anything other than what lights you up inside. Shed the fur and step into the spotlight of your true genius. Thank you.